Yes, guys, welcome back to Football Park, and today we are talking about a topic that's come into conversation over the last couple of days. Basically, the EFL want to introduce the National League playoff system into the upper leagues, and I'm joined by the referee Geezer as always, and of course, us both being EFL fans, we've got a strong opinion on this. Now, I think we're going to debate both sides of the argument because there's a valid reason for...
Wait, first things first, we both disagree with this, right?
I personally disagree, but I can understand from a neutral's point of view and just for an entertainment point of view why people would want it. Because we've obviously spoken about the National League playoff system before and how it works, and we said that we want it to be harder for teams to make that step from National League to professional level football. We're now going to make it that same challenge to get into well, basically how it's going to work for all the other playoff systems. What can I get your thoughts on this?
Well, what I'm thinking is, I think this whole thing is just a bit Americanized, to be honest, because it reminds me a bit of like the NBA playoffs.
Right. Sort of just giving everyone even if you win the league, it's like, is it an NBA? If you win, you don't actually win. You have to win the playoffs as well.
You have to win the playoffs as well.
So even when you win, that's like even like an exaggerated version of this.
Okay, but that I mean, like it goes down to like 8th place.
Yeah. So that would mean we'd see first and second still go up automatically.
Exactly.
Which is fine. Third and fourth would go straight to the semi-final, and then 4th to 8th battle it out in the playoffs, which would mean last season we would have had Millwall.
Okay, if we had Millwall, this is where I agree, because I really want Millwall in the Prem. I think everyone wants.
So
Millwall
in your point of view, it depends who gets into the top
kind
8.
of, but then at the same time, it's like sometimes you might get a Watford at 8th. And
what are you trying to say here? Thing is,
Yo-yo club not ready for a Prem.
Right, what side of the argument should we start on? Should we start on the for or against side?
Alright, go on 4.
4. So this is arguments for why we should have all the way down to 8th being playoffs.
Yeah. Reason like Millwall.
Yeah, so you said your reason because you want Millwall in the Premier League.
Because I want Millwall in the Prem.
Generally, I think when you look at the points tally and positioning over the last couple of years in the Championship, just the Championship, not League 1, League 2. I haven't really looked. I don't really keep as much of a track. But the actual difference between the teams is so slim. I think last year, in between 5th and 6th, Coventry and Bristol was 1 point. Then you go down to outside the playoffs, it was only 2 points off. So you can sort of make an argument there that there's very minimal in between those teams that are 5th, 6th and 8th to 12th, because there isn't much difference.
It's the only proper reason I've got for this is to see Millwall in the Premier League.
That was it. Alongside your Millwall in the Premier League, it would be you get to see, from an entertainment point of view, you get to see different teams come up into the Premier League, and that would not take away the factor of yo-yo clubs, because you'd still see the same clubs getting automatics and then getting relegated straight away, because the gap between the Premier League and the Championship is that big. Like Watford, yeah. Norwich, Watford, Sheffield United, Burnley's. You'll still see those clubs bouncing up and down. But then from an entertainment point of view, from a neutral point of view, I think we can all agree, when things get changed in football, it comes from the higher ups. This is probably going to be coming from Premier League people wanting to see newer teams come into the division. And I think from a Premier League's fans' point of view, how excited did everyone get when Luton got promoted?
God,
Luton!
But this is not like against, but this plays into what I'm going to say next. It's like, have we not been seeing new teams already coming
We
up?
haven't.
How?
We haven't.
Brentford.
They've been there for years.
They've been there for years, but they're still a new team.
No,
then you got Luton
you don't see
in.
those teams come up anymore. Think of that old school
Luton.
Premier League. Yeah, that's what I mean. But I'm saying that reaction when Luton came up, everyone was talking about
Huddersfield.
Oh, I really wish Luton was still
Huddersfield.
But they don't. That was years ago.
It was years ago, but it still happens. It still happens.
In recent years, in the last 5
but
or 6...
But you saying you want it to happen more often?
No, I'm saying this is what they wanted to happen more often.
They want it to happen more often.
They want newer teams to come into the football, into the big Premier League, so they can get more money, basically. And I think the reason why Championship clubs would agree is because they want those parachute payments, and then the reason why neutrals behind the scenes would want it to happen is because they want to see newer teams in that Premier League system. I personally don't agree, because they're not ready for it. Like we will see. We already see it in itself. When teams get promoted from the Championship, they get battered week in, week out in the Premier League. And these were teams that were walking the Championship. For example, Leicester. Leicester last season absolutely walked the Championship, finished top of the league, got promoted, and they were awful in the Premier League. And now we're talking teams that have finished 8th, 7 places below Leicester.
This new thing has come quite recent, because I feel like when you talk about the higher Premier League clubs, like your City, Arsenal, I feel like the gap between them and the Championship is getting bigger and bigger.
Of course it is, and this is only going to make it
due to
more
money
bigger
and stuff. Yeah, I do think it'll make it more bigger because at the same time, you know, you're getting these new teams coming in. They're going to go straight back down because they don't have the funds and stuff.
My point is, from an entertainment perspective, it would be cool. Like, you see newer teams, for example, there's more of a likelihood that you'd see Millwall, Bristol City, Middlesbrough, Swansea, those sort of teams fighting for Premier League football, which is entertaining, but they get battered next season. Like, me as a Watford fan, I'll be excited come the end of the season if I'm now fighting for top 8 instead of top 6, because for me, there's more of a chance of me seeing Premier League football.
What are you saying then? They'll have to change the structure a bit then, because
no, I think just keep it the same.
If this can come in, right? Say this came in,
right?
But say the gap between the top Prem teams and the lower teams weren't as big as it is. Would you say? Huh?
They are. It is though.
No, but I'm saying
there's no change
I'm
in
saying
that.
hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yes,
there was
but that's
no gap.
never going to happen.
Right. Charlie Bush, hypothetically, use your pineapple heads,
Hypothetically,
like
if
my pineapple
the
head.
big 6 clubs weren't as big as they were, would I want more teams to be in the Premier League? Yes.
No, I'm saying, cause, no, say hypothetically the gap was smaller and you saw new Championship teams come in.
Yeah.
Would you be more for this new system?
No. I still wouldn't be.
But then don't you want to see new teams come into a Prem and have a chance?
But that's the thing, they won't have a chance.
No, but I'm just saying. Say there wasn't a gap. The gap was smaller. Say there wasn't
Hypothetically, the gap was smaller.
Think hypothetical.
As in, we're saying if the Premier League wasn't as levels above the Championship as it is.
Yeah.
No, you've got to earn it. You've got to earn it. You can't come 8th and get promoted.
No, look, I agree with that. But then doesn't that defeat all your points for?
Oh, it does. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't believe in the 4 argument. I'm just saying. I don't want this to happen at all. Can you talk me through your against points now? Because we've tried to drag out as many 4 points as we can, but it's not going to happen.
Quite clearly you don't agree.
No.
I know it's why, to be honest.
Go on. Talk me through why you don't want this to happen.
No, I think it's completely ridiculous. You're going down to 8th and already... I know this defeats what I just said before, but the gap is already there. I think... No, I think... I'm going to Tom levels right now. No, but I think what I said before, hypothetically, if there wasn't that gap between the Premier League clubs and the bottom half, I would actually be for this system. Because I feel like there's new teams that will come into a Prem. Like, it'll give teams like Millwall a chance. It'll give teams like... You know... The teams who have just been in Championship for years that have done nothing there for years, you know, like QPR. You know, it'd be nice to see QPR back in the Prem for once. Imagine QPR, Fulham, Brentford, Millwall in one Premier League.
QPR back in the Premier League. No, I'm joking. The forced rivalry. I've had so many comments recently being like, Charlie's the one who forces the rivalry of QPR.
Oh man,
I actually really don't care.
I interviewed him and Reeks on my channel, and they all said they hate QPR.
Yeah,
they just no, but you didn't say you hate.
I
don't
really care about QPR
rivalry.
No, I think I see more QPR fans not liking Watford and Luton.
I've never actually seen that before, to be honest.
We've never seen QPR fans not.
Yeah, that was new to. I thought they just hate Fulham and Brentford.
Nah, they try and. I say it's more Luton than with Watford's, but I think it was something about. I can't remember. My dad was telling me it was something about a big fight went on back in the day between QPR and Watford fans, and it's just led on since. But obviously, our generation have just gone. Who won the fight between QPR and Watford? I don't know. I wasn't there, mate. Unfortunately.
Oh, so, what were you doing, man?
What was I doing? I was probably in the womb.
I think if there wasn't that much of a gap, I think it's quite fair, to be honest. If there wasn't that much of a gap.
Hypothetically, you're saying if there wasn't a big gap between the Prem and the Championship, this system would work.
Yeah, because you don't often see a massive point gap between 8th, 6th, and it gives more teams a chance from the Championship instead of seeing like the same ones in playoffs. You always see Millwall just finishing just outside in the past few seasons. It'd be quite interesting to see how they would do if there was quite a high stakes situation in itself.
If these playoff changes were to happen in the EFL and it was to happen in Championship, League 1, League 2, what does that mean for parachute payments? Because say, for example, obviously when you get promoted into the Premier League, you get millions of pounds, and you come back down, and it's meant to give you more of a chance to go straight back up again. It's like a reward for going up, right? Say we had all the way down to 8th place that are potentially going up into the Premier League. Let's just say one season Millwall finish 8th. They win the playoffs, they go up as a 3rd team. They get those parachute payments. Obviously, they're not good enough, so they get relegated straight away. Yeah. Then we'll say 7th place team the next season comes up, and it was Bristol City. Bristol City go up, get parachute payments, come down, and then the 6th place team go and win it. And you've got Coventry who have got parachute payments come up. Everyone's going to have so much more money in the Championship, which is that a good thing or is it a bad thing to have more money in the Championship? Because does that close the gap, or does that just make it even bigger? Does that now mean we're going to make a gap between the Championship and League One? Like, how far down does it go until everyone's just got shit tons of money?
Well, to be honest, I think as in the gap between the Premier League and Championship, it'll make it a lot better. But then, as you said, it'll create that gap between League One and Championship, and you're going to have to keep going down and down and down.
That's what I mean. So is that a good thing that everyone's just got more money? Or what does that do? Is that just basic economics? Just that, like, eventually it will just be getting more and more and more, because then the Premier League's got to have more money. If the Championship's got more money, surely the Premier League will be like, no, I'm not having any of that. And they'll be like, right, we need more money now.
Yeah, it's just going to pump. Look, it's football. Every time there's going to be more money pumped in. Money gets pumped in by the years to a point where the mascots are going to be on a 70k wage like the train drivers. Maybe a gold strike though.
See all the kids coming on. Mascots coming on with getting a wage for walking on the pitch of the players. Obviously, we think that with this system, right, it is implemented by the EFL. So it's the EFL who want it. Basically, they're just wanting more money. Do you think so? Do you think that's the be and end all of why they've tried to propose this system?
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Like EFL, the money in the EFL compared to a Premier League is, without a doubt, there's a massive gap.
Yeah,
it's an unbelievable gap. If this is employed to get more money into the EFL, so if they introduce the system and there's more parachute payments for more clubs, then fair enough. I'll be like, you know what? I agree with
So
this.
it's because they want a more variety of teams to receive these parachute payments to maybe try and close the gap a little bit.
You know, if they get a parachute payment when they go into the Prem, you know, they might get relegated. I'm sure they don't lose that much money.
They don't lose any of it. They get to keep it all. I'm sure they do.
Exactly, yeah. So it gives them more time to build back in the Championship. I know teams like Luton haven't managed that, but you must be happy with that one. But it'll give them time, because even Luton in League One are still doing well. It's like they've got a good chance of going back up. It's not like they're becoming a League Two team or back in their National League. Like, I think if it's for parachute payments, then I'm in.
You're in, are you?
I'm in. I'm in.
A quick discussion, and we've had a change of heart. So do you, in terms of just on like a general basis, not just EFL related, do you think more money in football was better?
So this is quite a sophisticated question.
It is. I think ever since that.
Okay, let me talk.
It's ever since that Neymar transfer, money's gone off. So do you think it's been good? Or did you prefer? I'm gonna change my question. Did you prefer football the way it was before that Neymar transfer and before money became stupid levels above what it is now, or did you prefer it when £10 million for a signing was a massive big deal?
I preferred it when 10 million. You know what? I preferred it when Fabrizio Romano wasn't a thing. But
it's got nothing to do with the money. No, you just don't like Fabrizio.
Transfer just came in my head. But I was like, Fabrizio Romano, fuck you, man. I miss my transfer deadline days. But before the Neymar transfer, the transfers were a lot better. Yeah. You know, 10 million was a big transfer and it was a big deal. You know, you didn't have to spend that much to get the player you wanted. But now I think with this Neymar transfer, they've overvalued a lot of players. So when a lot of these players get these big money moves, they're not as good.
No, well, how much was Harry Maguire worth? Like 80 odd million.
Exactly. I mean, you get like people like Nicolas Pepe, 72 mil. Yeah. And he just ended up being another Jorginho at Arsenal. Like, no, do you get what I mean though? Like,
so we're on the side of
but
more money in football is a negative thing.
No, but this is what I'm saying. This is where you have to kind of dissect that.
Okay, let me dissect. Go on.
Dissect. Right. More money in football is only good if it's distributed.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. When you have more money, you get a loss of passion, because now these players with all this money, they don't give a. They'll just turn up for a paycheck. They don't care.
Does that not make it less passion?
What do you mean?
If they just don't care and they're just doing it for the money, surely that makes it...
No, I'm saying it reduces the passion.
Oh, you're saying it reduces passion.
I'm saying back in the day there was more passion.
For the game?
For the game, because people were doing it...
People are playing the game for the sport, not for the money.
Yeah, exactly.
So then
but back to what I was saying. Yeah. Back to what I was saying. It's all gonna like come together like train tracks. Watch this. Do I think money in football is a good thing? No. But money is always gonna be there in the Premier League. So if we're gonna pump more money into football, you may as well just distribute it.
So you think the actual money isn't a problem, but just the way that it's
distributed
and spread out across the EF. Okay, let's just talk about in England.
Right.
Do you think that there needs to be, because obviously it's not going to be an even distribution. You're not going to have 25% in the Premier League, 25 Championship, League One, League Two, because there's levels to the game. You've got to earn your way up, right? But what sort of split would you like? Would you be wanting? How much of a difference should there be? Because like we talk about it being in like a fair distribution. What is that fair line? Because Premier League are obviously elite levels compared to the Championship, and we say the gap's so big, and that's because of money, right? So then we say, what sort of, how even and similar should the Premier League and Championship be financially wise?
If these teams manage their finances, they can't.
If they manage the finances, they can't.
No, listen. In the way it's distributed, it's not about how it should be distributed. I just don't think, because at the moment it's quite obvious that all the money and all the revenue just goes to the Premier League, and then all the scraps and the leftovers get put to the other teams. This is what's making these teams go into administration. I think if you want to give most of the money to a Prem, that's fine, because they get the most
fair?
No,
because they are the best.
It's fair because they get the most TV. Everyone here buys their shirts. When you think about, tell someone outside of England, who's your favourite team?
Man United,
Arsenal, whoever Ronaldo played for back in the day, or whoever. I don't know.
I like Liverpool.
Cole Palmer, like Haaland.
Unless you're actually from these places, obviously it's fine.
But I'm saying, but they shouldn't get almost all of the money. They shouldn't leave the scraps for the EFL teams.
Okay.
And they should do more to fund EFL games, because look, they introduced Sky, right? They're saying, we're going to televise the games. But at what cost?
Yeah, at the cost of all the tickets.
Yeah, the 12.30.
All the ticket prices.
Exactly.
No one's buying the tickets anymore. They're just staying at home.
Exactly. And it's 12:30 kickoffs now. And then most of the games are going to Sky Plus. Let's be honest, no one's going to watch Sky Plus. No one gives one about Sky Plus.
Yeah.
So it's not even going to attract new
Was that
fans.
an EFL thing, or was that a
EFL thing? That's an
TV thing?
Just an EFL thing. All the free, everything's on Sky Plus now, and it's like...
So they're trying to get more revenue through television rights rather than ticket sales?
Yeah, and I'm like, look, the tickets do sell in the London clubs, but when you go up north and stuff, it's quite clear that some stadiums are...
I'd rather just watch it at home than travel all the way up to Blackburn.
Yeah,
People would rather stay at home.
And even with the northern teams, because these northern teams are based in small towns, the attendances are not going to be as big. But they should do more to fund the advertising of these clubs and have it more out there. I could go up to Manchester and I'm going to see nothing about Stockport. I'm going to see nothing about what other clubs are around. I would say Salford, but Salford are getting enough money pumped in.
True.
But or like Oldham, maybe. Oldham don't really
far.
Consider themselves Manchester, but you're just going to see United, City. Yeah, I think they should just distribute everything evenly. And
evenly.
No,
so
not evenly. That's such a communist way of thinking.
Fairly.
Just fairly. Like,
I guess it is hard.
And they should offer more support to clubs going into administration as well, because why is it so often that these small clubs are very vulnerable to these owners who come just for a money pump and just dump the club once they're done with it? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what happened to Morecambe and stuff? It's just not on.
So referring it back to the playoff system rule change, whatever the hell this is, we're pretty much saying we think it's because the EFL wants to close that gap and have more money for the teams that are trying to push their way up to the Premier League. Make it more. Not is it easier? It's because obviously there's still the same amount of teams go up, but you just have more chance.
I was talking to my mate, right? We were having a normal ball talk, and this is what pains me. Like, why is payments and transfer fees such a big thing? Because back in the day, all the conversation was, which player is better than what player? Like, it was like Messi or Ronaldo, or our players are better than your players, or my club is better than your club.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I get people talking about...
Well, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Talking about parachute payments and finances of clubs.
Yeah, and my boy started bringing up match day revenues. This guy was talking about match day revenues. Last time I checked his fridge, it was empty. Do you get what I mean?
Match day revenues, yeah. So again, do you think
no.
that's a money, as in like a... Yeah. Whose fault is that now us as creators, people who want to talk, not even as creators, as a fan, going to the pub, going to your mate's house. Why are we having to talk about money in football and not the talent of and the entertainment of football?
Do you know what? This could like.
Whose fault is it?
It's the FA's.
Call them out.
Cool. I think it's the FA. The FA, EFL, all the big footballing bodies. It all starts from Sepp Blatter, where he, giving like the World Cup to Qatar. I know it was a brilliant World Cup.
It was a very good World Cup.
I actually really enjoyed it. But obviously the questions are asked. It's not really like a footballing
environment. Players were sweating.
Exactly. And look, when you have it in places like Brazil, it's a proper footballing. Like football is their life there.
Yeah.
It's just like one of them things. Like I've never heard of Qatar even qualifying for a World Cup. So it's just like one of them things where it's like the only reason they got it is because of money. And if you look deep into the documentaries and stuff, the hours some of the workers had to go through in Qatar just to get the football stadiums built in time. So it just makes you wonder, like, it's just the footballing bodies that just keep injecting money and prioritizing whoever has money. Because Qatar, they got that money. So obviously they gave it to Qatar.
Yeah.
And it's just, it quite clearly is a business now. Football is a business now. It's not for the working class. I think
it's not. It's lost. Originally, the game was made for working class people to enjoy themselves, and now we're sat here talking about how the EFL are trying to implement a strategy that seems like it's for entertainment, but might actually behind closed doors be to get more revenue for the EFL.
Why do I have malnourished people talking to me about transfer fees? It's just sad the way football has gone.
Well, we're interested to see what you guys think.
I don't mean you by malnourished, by the way.
We're interested to see what you guys think, as always. We're interested to see what you guys think, as always, in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on this EFL playoff promotion changes that could happen. Let me know if you're for it, against it. We're going to read all the arguments. We'll probably have an article coming out in the next couple of days. As always, so go head over to footballpark.com and give that a read. And as always, we'll see you in the next video. See you later.